Hey, this is a Personality Hacker special announcement. I'm Joel Mark Witt.
And I'm Antonia Dodge.
We wanted to let you know that the Personality Hacker book is finally out. It's been a labor of love for, 18 months now, writing this book? It was supposed to be like a few.
Yeah.
It ended up being a lot longer than we thought it was going to be. It was our first book.
Yeah, we told our publisher, we're like, yeah, we can have that done in 3 months. This was after we asked our publisher, what is the number one mistake that new writers make? And she said, they think it's going to take a lot less time than it actually does. And we're like, okay. And after she said that, she said, how long do you think it's going to take? And we said, 3 months. And it didn't. It took over a year. So, around a year. And then with editing, over a year. But it's finally out and it's available. And we're super excited by the fact that it's complete and it's ready to be delivered to your door.
That's right. And let's just talk a little bit about what's in the book, in case you're like, well, what's the book about, guys? It basically is the primer that we wanted to create for you, the base content of how we talk about personality types here at Personality Hacker. So we talk about the car model, for example, and we go into great detail on the car model and how what's technically called your cognitive function stack works in your personality. And we do an overall framework of that. We show you how to reverse engineer that 4-letter code that you have as your personality type to figure out which cognitive functions you use. And then we have a chapter for each of the 16 Myers-Briggs type.
It's written kind of like a workbook, actually, with a lot of what we call learning point pauses and opportunities for journal entries. So just like everything we do at Personality Hacker, it's intended to encourage you to not just have this information, but apply it in personal development. So we go through each type. We talk about exercises you can do to optimize your cognitive functions. We talk a little bit about what it looks like when you're in a loop, right? We've talked about loops on the podcast, and the book goes into loops for each of the personality types and the different styles of loops. It gives you opportunities to reflect on your own life and maybe where loops are showing up for you. Also talks about grips when you get into that inferior or 3-year-old cognitive function. And again, gives you opportunities to reflect on when those might be showing up for you. So it's a portion of it is content, of course, just talking about how all this works. But then another portion of it is intended to be a personal development journal for you. And we highly recommend you use it in that capacity. We also frame it in terms of identity and essentially how a lot of different like think tanks and people who are maybe up to no good are using things like personality typology, psychology to exploit us and to manipulate us. So understanding how your personality type works, understanding how your cognitive functions work, help you to fight that, to fight other people who are attempting to gain undue influence over you and use algorithms in order to sort of hijack how your mind is wired and influence you in ways that you might not want to be influenced. So the best defense in this, in our opinion, is to arm yourself with information and self-reflection. So we go into that as well.
Yeah, and there's also a test included, so you can test yourself and your family members if you would like to basically have a place where all the types are talked about. It's a great resource for you to have on your bookshelf because now you can look at your family, your friends, your coworkers, and you have all of the types outlined in one place in a book, right? So it's not just a workbook for you in personal growth, but you get to see insight into the people around you.
And we talk about the FIRM model, which is a model that we've talked about in the podcast, but we write a little bit about it and how the FIRM model works and the fixations that different personality types have and ways to be aware of what your fixation is. Yeah. And what the fixations are.
Yeah. And if you've been listening recently, we talked about the loops and grips several episodes ago. We did this idea of there's basically 3 types of loops and several types of grips. And in the book, we start to detail those out in much more nuance. So you can see how each type would get into the looping or the grip dynamics for themselves. So we believe in this book. We put a lot of effort and time and work into it. We think it's a good book. We think you will really benefit from it and enjoy it. And we'd love to hear what you think after you get a copy, read it, maybe get a copy for a friend or family member. Maybe take a bunch of copies to work and pass them out. I don't know how you want to do it. And if you come to a meetup that we're going to be doing later this year and next year, bring your book with you. We'd love to sign it and have an experience of talking to you about the book and about the resources that the book points to. So yeah, go get a copy. It could be found at Amazon, obviously major booksellers. And we also recommend going to your local bookstore and going ahead and ordering it through that. It's a win-win to help support your local bookstore. And then you get a book for yourself as well.
Yeah, and if you're international, we believe that I think Amazon has it available in European countries. And we've been working with our publisher to make sure that if there's any challenges that people have overseas, that they're helping address those. So
let us know so we can address those.
Yeah,
If you're
exactly.
like, hey, I tried to buy it, but I can't get it through this distributor. Let us know, and we'll try to make sure we can talk to our publisher about it.
Yeah. So go get yourself a copy if you'd like. Leave a rating and review on various platforms if you'd like. And yeah, we really appreciate you supporting us, and we hope you love it. Commensurate to the amount of work that it was. We hope that the blood, sweat, and tears we poured into it really pay off, and that it's a really good resource for you and your personal development.